begun. The cloak. You've been chosen one!
I am your father.
You shall be known as Darth
I have a bad feeling about this.
Vader.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
Caroline, Lloyd, and I will go into the kitchen and get the coffee and dessert, and then we're going to open the presents.
We can't open presents until midnight.
Why not?
Because it's not Christmas until
But
midnight.
guess what? We're changing the rules a little bit, okay? We're going to open the presents now, not later. Now. Why? Because we're adults, and we can open the presents whenever we want. I want everybody into the tent, or I'm going to shoot.
Go ahead, shoot her.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to an Autopstream Christmas. Season's greetings, and Santa brought us an early Christmas gift. We have the whole group together for the first time this year, I think. At least it's been definitely the first time with Autopstream. I think it might be the first time we've all been on a stream period since, what, January? February, maybe? So,
Has it been that long?
Lindsay,
Yeah.
go ahead and just go right to you. How's it going?
It's going wonderfully. I'm so happy to be here. That totally sounded like I'm on like Sally, Jesse, Raphael or something.
Brian, clear your throat. How you doing?
Great. Just absolutely spiffing. Please, people in the chat, don't spoil Star Wars for me. I've not seen it yet. Help me out.
Brian,
Help us, guys.
Brian, also stay to your right. You're good where you, no. You were good where you were, but you were we're a little tight with four of us.
None of this business. None of this business.
CP, I heard you also got some NyQuil issues
Yeah,
going
no,
on. How are you doing today?
I'm hopped up on the queue. It's going to be a short day for good old Sipo today. You must hear it. It's winter.
Yeah, you were in our Movies That Move Me chat yesterday, and he would send voice messages, and I'm like, who is this? It was like, hey guys, this is CP. Yeah, so we got two sickies here, and we were all like, oh, maybe we should put it back. And Lindsay's like, hey, I can join, and we're like, we're doing this!
Surprise!
Exactly.
A Christmas miracle.
Absolutely. We've been trying to drag her onto a stream for a while, but as she said, pre-going live, babies are hard. So it takes a lot of time away.
Jesus. Don't have kids, everybody. Don't do
Check.
it. It's trapped.
Roger.
Say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Holly there. We got
Hi, Holly.
Soulmate. Film Trigger, what's up, Stevie? You got Ryan Webster, Renegade Hero. We got Woody Bowen in there somewhere. I remember seeing him. Hopefully he should be still here watching. Blake, Amber, Jason, Nike. Welcome, everybody. It should be a fun stream. First order of business, we do have a gift from Woody that he sent us about a month or so ago that we were going to unbox. He wanted us to unbox it live, so we'll go ahead and do that. He did say, whenever I told him, I said, hey, we're going to go live at this time, and Lindsay's joining us. He's like, oh, that's awesome. And I feel terrible because I didn't send her. He did say that it's all Brian's fault because shipping it overseas took all of his money away, so there was no Canada left in the budget.
I understand, even though my shipping address is in the States.
Oh, no.
I'll let Woody dig himself out of that hole in the chat then.
Well, the Canadian dollar's cheaper.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. Brian, why don't you go first? So we all have a gift. Well, he sent I think all of us got these little Woody custom painting of our initials, which is pretty awesome. He does everything in style, but we all have a gift that I believe goes together somewhat. So we'll go one at a time and go ahead and unbox that while Woody's here. There he is. Raising kids takes lots of love and patience and duct tape. Yes, it does.
A lot of duct tape.
They squirm so much, though. It's hard to get a good seal.
I know, right?
Just open this bad boy then, or what?
Yeah. Oh, don't ruin the paper.
No.
Beautiful Star Wars
that's
paper.
the fun of it. It's the fun of it, man. Hey. Okay, try not to crack the plate.
Holy crap!
We saw it before you did.
So I've got
Now
a
I'm
couple of
super
books.
bitter.
Hurry up! I want to see mine.
Yeah, where's that, Woody?
Shut it. Oh man, thank you. Yeah, so he sent me a couple of books because Woody's written a couple of books. One about his life, because he's had quite a life, and another one there which is written. So I'm gonna give them a read and see what's what. But let's have a look at this, shall we? Open it up. Oh man.
Don't feel bad, Woody. I'm just kidding.
Yes, get in.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So awesome.
Oh man.
Killer.
Look at that. Oh, yes. Okay, who's next?
That's amazing.
Woody, that is absolutely awesome. Flipping it. Oh man, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Did you get a note? There was a note on mine.
Yes, I did.
I do have a note, okay.
Who's...
But while he's looking, I'll read my note. It says, CP, I hope you went...
Oh, sorry.
Or just crinkle over me reading, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. I will do. It says,
Off to a
Brian,
solid
start. Brian, you and your family with the most amazing Christmas you've ever had. Merry Christmas, Woody. Thanks, mate. That's very, very much appreciated. Absolutely love it. Thank you.
Yeah. And the note Woody wrote me was, CP, hope you and Emily have an amazing Christmas. May your bells jingle and your snowmen be frosty. And I can confirm both.
Are you from
when isn't it? So I guess I'm going next because it's your channel, Cody.
Can we see that wrapping paper a little bit better? Because that wrapping paper is badass.
I fucking know. I don't want to rip it.
You don't know how to take it off without ripping it?
No.
They're wrapped pretty good.
Yeah.
No.
I thought it was a vinyl in the cardboard box that it was sent, and I was like, interesting. And then it wasn't. So
it's Woody singing all the Christmas classics.
So here, I'll get back so you guys can.
Silver bells.
Well, it's better than Cody singing them.
All right, so I'll make sure I open the back to myself first, so that you guys can see it before I do.
I already see part of it.
I think we all saw this coming.
Yep.
Okay. I should have expected.
My God.
Woody, you're a badass. Where do I wait? Is it tape?
Woody, you have outdone yourself. That is
absolutely.
I gotta take down the Star Wars.
Do we
poster.
take bets? Do we take bets on who?
He's got to be Chucky, right?
No, it's gonna be
Freddy?
Freddy.
Yeah.
100%, it's gonna be Freddy.
Oh yeah, Freddy. Of course.
It's either it's either going to be Chucky, Freddy, or something Breaking Bad related because our little technical difficulty thing was Breaking Bad, so he might pull an audible there.
Oh,
I'm very liberal with the tape, he says.
But will he be able to find a hat big enough for your head?
That's incredible.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you, Woody. I gotta find space now. This needs to go where people can see
Just
it.
put it over the Rise of Skywalker.
That's what I'm thinking.
Just kidding. I liked it. All right, let me read my note. So it says, Cody, I hope you and your family have an amazing Christmas. May your stockings be full and your holly be jolly.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
All right. I didn't get Star Wars wrapping. No, I'm kidding. Let me see. I don't know where to. I want to be gentle. All right, there we go.
It'd be funny if it's something totally different. Oh, Die Hard. Yeah, well, why not Die Hard? That's
it's just a big picture of me.
All right. You'll see it before I do.
Yeah, that glare. I think
I can't see it.
Can you see it at all?
But you know what? I kind of.
I don't think I was right.
It's Freddy. It's got to be Freddy, and there's a hat.
I don't think I was right.
But so does Walter.
I'll take off the bubble wrap.
Right.
I'll take off the bubble wrap.
Nah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
The color palette looks a little
Light.
Krugerish.
All right. Now can you see it?
Oh man.
I was right.
Yep.
I can kind of see it through there.
Nicely done.
Woody, you outdid yourself.
Yes. Woody, I love you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That is awesome, dude. So awesome.
Very well done.
Oh man.
Thank you so much, Woody. That is awesome. That might go in the living room. Lamb. That's your holiday response.
Yeah. There's a delay, Cody.
Yeah. In 30 seconds, we'll hear a noise.
There'll be a fuck no.
On top of these awesome gifts, I do want to thank Woody from all of us because he's been a huge, huge asset for us. Post all of this summer, he's been one of the biggest helps in kind of bringing us together with this newly reformed stream, designing artwork for us. He helped come up with the title, Autopstream. He's been one of our biggest supporters, one of our biggest, best friends of all four of us for quite a while. So obviously the fact that he's put the time and effort into doing all of these, I mean, I don't paint, but I imagine this takes quite a while.
For real.
That these things have. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Woody. You're a very good dude, and I value you as a friend, and I'm sure I speak for all four of us for that.
Likewise.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's a delay. Damn.
Oh, I love her.
Nope, right there in the chat too. She hit us with love you. All right, so that is awesome. The other part of the agenda that we have for today, it's kind of obvious, but I figured we would just talk about our favorite Christmas movies. So we don't have to stick with horror. We can just talk in general. Being that Lindsay has not been with us for a while, I hope you're prepared because I'm coming to you first, Lindsay.
Oh.
Just give us one of your favorite Christmas movies.
One of? Because I have to be totally transparent here, and like Christmas movies are some of my favorite movies. Like not even just Christmas horror movies, just Christmas movies in general. Like White Christmas.
If you say the Hallmark Channel, so help me.
I won't lie, I have watched some of those, but normally, like Mark Paul Gosselaar did one, and it's Zach. Like who doesn't want to watch that? But like White Christmas has always been one of my favorites. It's on every single Christmas at either my mom's house or my aunt's house where we have Christmas, and because it's 98% females, and when the sisters song plays, we all sing it. But I don't know, like Home Alone, obviously. Everybody loves Home Alone. Try to get Tommy into it. He's not digging it yet. Oh. There you go, Cody. Digging.
Yeah.
It rubs off. I watched one the other day. Netflix had it the night before.
Oh yeah, with Seth Rogen.
So funny.
Oh,
yeah,
I've watched it twice
with
now.
JGL.
So good.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did he get hot? By the way, like I don't know when that happened.
Don John, I think. I mean, I don't know.
No, because like he was still kind of hot there in
Angels in the Outfield. Oh wait, what?
But he's super hot now, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, on to someone else.
Wait, Lindsay, have you what knowledge do you have of Black Christmas 2019?
Mostly just what you guys have said. That and a lot of the women that I've talked to, and a large portion of those women also happen to be like, not like the crazy like burn down every man
Post third
like
wave feminism
sort of thing. But they are still feminists, and they did not enjoy it because feminism is supposed to equal equality, and that's not the kind of picture that movie is apparently painted. So I really don't have a whole lot of interest in seeing it, and I've basically watched it now after
the trailer,
listening to
the trailer too,
listening to you guys talk about it, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll take the 0.
Yeah.
The one good thing that came out of it in Lindsay's perspective is that I appreciate Black Xmas a little bit more.
Preach.
I walked out and went, you know what? I was too hard on that movie. Like that was...
it could have been a lot worse, and it now is.
It is.
Oh,
Ryan.
Wait, did you just say that like I was like in a wraparound kind of way that I was right about something?
Well, wraparound, diluted way, sure you were.
I mean the silver lining, yeah. Thank you. I'm good. I can go now.
There's your Christmas present. You were kind of right a year ago.
Very festive.
That one time, Lindsay was right. Let it now be known.
Woody draw a painting of her with the date of the stream where we talk about Black Xmas and put I was right in the descent. Brian, what are a couple of your favorite Christmas movies?
I love Christmas movies. My absolute favorite of all time has to be
Batman.
Batman Returns is in top 5. I was going to get.
Oh, okay.
My favorite of all time is It's a Wonderful Life. Has to be the absolute pinnacle of Christmas movies. But yeah, Batman Returns is up there. It's when Tim Burton used to be like. When I was first getting into movies, Tim Burton was kind of like my director. He's not really anymore, but back when he made the first 2 Batman films and Edward Scissorhands as well. I know it's not a Christmas film, but it's got that feel because of the just the vibe that Burton gave off in that kind of part of his career. He'd use a lot of snow and things like that. It does have that kind of Christmas feel about it, and the music that Danny Elfman was doing at that time as well is very kind of Christmassy, bells and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Edward Scissorhands and Batman Returns I can definitely watch at Christmas. Batman Returns being an actual Christmas film because it is set at Christmas. Muppet Christmas Carol is one that we always have to watch. That's my wife's favorite, so we kind of make the deal that we watch Muppet Christmas Carol a couple of days before Christmas, and then on Christmas Day we get to watch It's a Wonderful Life. But that deal tends to get a little bit broken, especially since we had kids. So we end up watching Muppet Christmas Carol, and then I end up watching It's a Wonderful Life on my bill, which is fine. I like it that way. I like watching movies on my own. But they're some of my favourites. Scrooged is one that I don't really watch as often as I used to, but certainly as a kid, I used to watch that every Christmas. Scrooged is definitely up there. But yeah, they're probably the ones that, for me, are the absolute must-watches.
You will be pleased to know, or you might curse me out, that I made the conscious effort to buy the 4K of It's a Wonderful Life so that I can watch it for the first time.
Yeah.
What?
It's never been one of the annual things when I was growing up. The types of Christmas movies that we watched were much more like the comedies and Die Hard and things of that nature. So I bought a couple Christmas movies and I saw that one had a 4K and I was like, okay, I finally have to watch this because it's the quintessential Christmas movie from what I gather.
Freaking kids these days. You haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life? My God.
Telling you. Priorities, right? CP.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Is there a Friday
Jason
the 13th
Lives.
Christmas movie?
Is there snow in Friday the 13th somewhere? Sorry, just getting a super chat. The ref. I'm a twisted bird, so I tend to watch some of the.
You're what? No.
I tend to watch some of the weirdo stuff. Krampus is a movie that every year since it's been out, I've watched it. Emily has made a habit of watching all the really bad Krampus movies, like Krampus Unleashed, and what was the one you just watched this time that took place in the 1800s? Or like, she watches all the weird Krampus movies. One that's growing for me that nobody liked and probably still doesn't like is with a hokey Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini called Surviving Christmas. And for some reason, I just enjoy that movie. It's terrible, it's hokey, but it just feels right to me. And it's one of the, I mean, Die Hard, I already watched already. There's just like a handful that you have to watch to get through your year, and those are a few of mine.
Absolutely. Yeah, you took most of my
Sorry.
top ones. So Die Hard, I mean, I've said it before, that's my favorite movie of all time. So default is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. But that's an absolute must-watch for me. That's usually one that I'll throw on in the morning time when we're kind of getting woken up and the kids are running around like hellions. And you start to pull the presents out and divvy them all out. And then the one that I usually end up watching by myself when Holly goes into nap mode is The Ref. I love The Ref. I love Dennis Leary. I wish he did more movies nowadays because he's just awesome in most of the stuff that he did. But that's a great Christmas comedy that's a little more hard-edged than a lot of the family stuff. And if you're sticking to more family stuff, one that I've always loved that I didn't realize people kind of shit on a lot until I joined YouTube, and that's Jingle All the Way. I've always loved Jingle All the Way.
Jake
I remember
Lloyd.
seeing that with my dad. Yeah, I saw that with my dad in the theaters, and that became like a yearly watch for us. So, I mean, that's one of those ones where you quote, "Put that cookie down," and so it's. I actually watched it 2 nights ago. So usually the week before Christmas is when I'll start throwing in all the must watches, like the Jingle All the Ways and Home Alones and those ones. But yeah, The Ref and Die Hard are the two that I have to watch on Christmas Day.
Now, like pulling from like the Die Hard debacle of it's not a Christmas movie, what qualifies movies as being Christmas movies?
To me, and not only does it have to be set on Christmas, but that's not it, because then you could have basically every Shane Black movie say it's a Christmas movie. But it has to be the themes of Christmas and maybe the tropes of the typical Christmas stories have to be woven in somewhat. So you got Die Hard, and at the end of the day, that's all a movie about a man trying to get home to his family for Christmas. He just ends up in a terrorist situation halfway between. And then
Doesn't there have to be some sort of influence on tone or atmosphere?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
for
absolutely.
For me, that's the key word is atmosphere. It's like if I come at, like I said with Edward Scissorhands, if you look at that, it's not a Christmas film, but there's something about that film that just feel like I'm watching a Christmas film. Like for me, it's just Die Hard's clearly a Christmas film. It takes place at a Christmas
score
party.
has jingle bells in it.
In there, the score has jingle bells in it. It's got Christmas music. It takes place at Christmas, but you do walk away from that. Well, I walk away from that film feeling, yes, within the action genre, but a sense of that Christmas spirit, that thing, like Cody said, a man trying to get back to his family, and like that's like, how many Christmas movies do they do about people trying to get home for the holiday season? And it's essentially what Die Hard is. It's just that it's done it as an action movie. So yeah, it is about that. It's about the atmosphere that it creates within you, the feelings it creates within you. Like even Black Christmas, that's a Christmas movie, but there's something about that, the way that all those sorority girls are together and kind of celebrating Christmas, and it's deep, it's dark, it's like it's a bit, it's not your typical Christmas movie, but still seeing all those kind of girls be like this kind of family on campus at Christmas time, it still gives you that Christmassy vibe. And so yeah,
Brian, does the fellatio joke hit with you in the 74 version of Black Christmas?
I can't remember.
So,
well, she's asking for the phone
right,
number of
right.
the sorority, so she's giving it, and the exchange
is fellatio 4578.
Yeah, it's a new exchange.
Yeah, in America.
Because that's the one where it's where the police officer gets it. He Yeah,
You understood the
really
placement? Because Emily didn't understand it. And I was like, I had to explain to her way back in the day, we used to have 2 letters that opened our phone number, like Klondike 5, 4891 or something like that. So she was like, that's a weird place to
Don't say yeah, Cody. You never had that.
I've seen some older movies that educated me on it. Why are they eating ice cream on the phone? I don't get it. Yeah, everything you guys were saying as far as why Die Hard's a Christmas movie, I hate getting into that debate because usually the arguments against it are pretty. It's not about Christmas. I'm like, it actually is.
It kind of is because it wouldn't have been happening on that day if it hadn't been Christmas.
Absolutely.
Like I think that to make something like really qualify as a Christmas movie, you have to ask yourself, if you move this onto any other day of the year, would it be the exact same movie?
Friday the 13th don't take place on Friday the 13th.
Well, that's not a Christmas movie. Most of those movies don't.
Right. It should be Thursday the 14th.
Lives is the one that's the most confusing of all.
Monday the 17th, the Tuesday the 18th.
Where do you guys stand on this? This was an argument that seemed to really catch on this past month that I've never really heard before. But the big one now is, well, if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, then Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie. And I love Lethal Weapon, but I don't consider it a Christmas movie.
No.
No,
that's a moment in passing.
As much, it's not as much of a Christmas movie as Die Hard. I don't think. I don't think Christmas becomes as much of a presence in it as it does in Die Hard. But I do kind of still kind of think of it as a Christmas movie, to be honest. Just because it is about family. It is about. The whole thing is that you got Riggs there who's this loner who's kind of distances himself from people in many ways, and by the end of the film he's become part of this family, and it's about opening up your family at Christmas time to outsiders, to people who need love and warmth and that. So that to me, it does have those elements, those themes that we were talking about that do make up a Christmas film. So for me, I do consider Lethal Weapon Christmas film, absolutely.
Okay. You've swayed me slightly. I don't know if I would go as far as to say I consider it one, but I can understand using that logic why it's at least a debate.
I think While You're Sleeping is a Christmas movie. Me and my sister watch it, well, when we lived together, watched it every Christmas morning. While You're Sleeping, like, it has nothing to really do with the plot that the end of the movie takes place on Christmas, but it has that tone to it. Like everybody's setting up for Christmas and she's going to be alone for Christmas. And that's kind of why she does what she does, because she doesn't want to be alone for Christmas. So like, it's kind of in there, but it's, I don't know. Sometimes it's just a matter of like how it makes you feel, I suppose. Like some people even say like A Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie? How does it make you feel? Then put it on whatever holiday you want.
Like there's a lot of films where like the original Star Wars trilogy for me, they're kind of like Christmas movies, because as a child, and Superman 1 and 2, they were always on at Christmas when I was a kid. So in my head, there's this association there that happens where if I watch Superman, it takes me back to being a kid. But it doesn't just take me back to being a kid. It takes me back to being a kid at Christmas, because that's when we would watch it. We wouldn't have to go to school. We'd be eating junk, which I really loved, and we'd be able to watch Superman. And it was just, there was presents under the tree. There was Christmas decorations everywhere. And because that's when it was always on, I will always have those associations. So for me, the Star Wars trilogy, Superman, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, they're Christmas films. I don't think about watching The Hobbit for most of the year, and yet we get to December, and I always have this thing in me around December time where I think I want to put the Hobbit films on. Or
that's personal tradition.
And it's because
I don't think you're alone in the fact that you don't think about the Hobbit much.
Yeah, but I do in December. In December, I want to watch them. I genuinely do, and it's because every year their release dates were timed for Christmas.
Yes.
So whenever I watched those movies, it was at Christmas time. So there's this innate thing about them I associate them with Christmas. They're not Christmas films, but it just by sheer, release date, they become Christmas. They put me in the mood for Christmas because, like, it's the way memory ties to film, and that's you look at nostalgia. A lot of films that we're nostalgic about, they make us feel a particular way about when we first watched them as a child, and so those movies, I love Christmas, and those movies came out at Christmas. I always watched them at Christmas, so they will always have that association there, even though they're not Christmas films.
How do you guys feel about A Christmas Story? Now, I don't know how it is overseas, Brian, but here, Christmas Story plays day round every single year. And I usually hear one of two things. Either it's people's favorite Christmas movie, or it's a movie that they absolutely detest and they get sick of seeing it. So where do you land on that? Have you even seen it, Brian?
I've not. I don't even know what it is, to be honest.
That's hilarious.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah, where the kid's trying to get the
Fragile.
I'm just gonna look it up on IMDb now.
Yeah, like the leg lamp.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate the movie. Like if it's on, I'll see it. But like I remember like growing up and like Superstation would play it 24/7, back to back to back. And Sweet Mary Mother of God, like it's too much. It's all too much, and they ruin it for you. It's like when you eat something too much when you're a little kid, and then when you're an adult, every single time you look at it, you feel a little sick to your stomach. That's what Christmas Story is to me.
It's funny that you say that.
By Bob Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
The kid on it looks a bit annoying, though.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Lindsay, about having the food memories as a kid, and it makes you sick, because that is something that's like extremely strong with Holly. And she brings it up against a food that I love, and I get so mad. She's like, "No, I hate that. I used to eat it when I was a kid." And I'm like, "So fucking what?"
Yeah, that's why me and Holly are meant to be together.
Yeah, there you go.
I
just move out of
to
the way.
this day, like I've literally been gifted like cinnamon candles, and it smells like a cinnamon bun, and I'm like, just like push it back. And I'm like, I really don't like to refuse gifts, but I am not taking this home with me. Like every single time that I would open it, like I will gag and throw up. If I go through the mall and there's a Cinnabon, we get down like close to it. As soon as I smell it, we have to turn around and go the other way, or I have to cover my mouth, because you can taste it too when you breathe in. And I have to plug my nose, and I have to run past it, because the smell of cinnamon buns.
They do that in casinos too.
No.
Is there a story that goes along with that?
We used to have them like every single weekend at my aunt's house, because we used to always do sleepovers at her house and rent movies, and we'd make cinnamon buns. But it's like I just had them so much, and I think the one night like I ate too much and I felt really sick, and ever since that I just can't do
with
it.
It's
Like
weird
I
how
like cinnamon, but warm cinnamon I can't deal with.
It's weird how your memory is more closely tied to the sense of smell than anything else.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine that I worked at my previous job had that with popcorn, where he couldn't smell popcorn or he would damn near throw up immediately.
What a life.
Oh
And
no,
it was
that's
rough.
awful.
I tried to invite him to the movies. He's like, "I can't do it, dude." And I'm like, "Why?" Like, I'm thinking like social anxiety or something like that. He's like, "I can't smell popcorn. I'll throw up." I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, you're fucked then. You can't come."
Wow.
Yeah.
My life would be over if I couldn't smell popcorn.
We were sitting there talking, and a girl was over in the break room microwaving popcorn one time, and it just kind of you could see the fog go underneath his nose, and he was like,
"Oh man."
Yeah.
Also, I just have to. Sorry, Holly said something in the chat, so I have to acknowledge her.
Yes. Let's all stop.
Yeah, everybody stop everything. Holly said something. It was way back a little bit actually, but she mentioned Bad Moms Christmas. Love the Bad Moms movies, and Bad Moms Christmas. I've already watched it like 5 times this month. Love it so much.
I took her to go see that in theaters,
freaking
both
hilarious.
of them. I didn't expect the first one to be nearly as funny as it was, because that was the same weekend that Jason Bourne came out, and I was like, fine, we can go see the Bad Moms movie. And then I hated Jason Bourne and loved Bad Moms, so it was like a weird little...
Always listen to Holly.
Yeah. A Christmas Story, to me, I'm kind of with Lindsay. I don't hate it, but it's one of those movies I never have the desire to watch, because I feel like I've seen it 47 times in my life without the choice. Because, it's like ABC or TNT or something like that in the States will play it from not even midnight, like maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night on Christmas Eve, all the way through to the end of Christmas Day. So every day every single Christmas, you'll see the movie in pieces, and by the end of the day, you've seen it 5 times if you keep the same station on. The other one, that's an interesting question because there's 3 of them now. Which of the Grinch movies is your Grinch movie?
The original.
The cartoon with Boris Karloff?
See, I want to say that because there's so much nostalgia in that, but I legitimately enjoy the Jim Carrey one more.
I'm the same way.
It's just, I think it's also longer.
I haven't seen the new one though. Have you guys seen the new one, the Benedict Cumberbatch one or whatever?
I just wanted to say that I'm literally halfway through the new one at the minute, and I am enjoying it. And I think actually, if it keeps on going the way it is, it's not a classic by any stretch, but it probably would be my favourite if it stays on course. So I was never particularly big on any version of it, which is strange because I'm a big fan of Dr. Seuss. We read all the books to our little girl, but for whatever reason, the translations just haven't quite been there for me. But yeah, the new one, I think it got a bit of a bad rap. I know the reviews weren't great when it came out, but I'm enjoying it so far. So.
Yeah, Holly took the kids to go see it last year, and I think I just opted out, or I think I kept Riley because she was not tolerable at the theater's age yet. So she took Shane and Belle to go see it, and they seemed to like it. I didn't really, the trailers didn't do much for me, and the reviews, the little bit that I heard of it kind of solidified that, so I haven't given it its fair shake yet. But I think I like the Jim Carrey one the most. I was still a kid when it came out. I remember being really excited. That's when Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler, those were all like basically event films for me. So that was a big one. And I rewatched the Boris Karloff one with the kids maybe 2 weeks ago. I bought it on Amazon, and I forget how short that damn thing is.
Yeah.
I paid like $7 for it, and I sat down. By the time I got comfortable, I was like, oh, and it's over. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's literally word for word the book.
Yeah.
So it can't really stretch all that long.
Oh yeah, no, and it's great. It's full of nostalgia, and it is one that I do still have the desire to watch it. But then when I watch it now, I've watched the Jim Carrey one so much that I get to certain parts and I start thinking of the Jim Carrey one and the way they expand it. And I'm like, I want to watch that one. So I'm kind of along that one too.
There's something about Jim Carrey that's just charismatic as hell.
Well, keeping it with Jim Carrey and changing tack slightly, what is your guys' favourite version of A Christmas Carol? Because mine is actually the Robert Zemeckis, Jim Carrey animated.
Oh, the animated one.
I haven't watched any of them.
Switch.
I mean, I guess Scrooged would technically be my answer if that works. But
good call.
Yeah, Scrooged is a rendition, right? But
yeah,
I do enjoy the Muppets one. I love Michael Caine, so that's a good one. But yeah, Scrooge is just so much fun. You can't lose when you come to Bill Murray. Like, everything is just win, win, win.
Let me try to find the one. I haven't seen the Jim Carrey one yet, but there is an older one that I used to watch a lot as a kid. I haven't seen it in probably 15-something years, but as a kid, this one was my favorite. And it was an older one. What is it? Is it the 1977 one? No, that doesn't look like it. Shit, I can't remember. But it was like in the 70s or 80s. There was an older Christmas Carol that my uncle gave us the VHS copy to. I remember
the one with Albert Finney.
It might be. I honestly don't remember. It's been so long since I watched it. But as a kid, that was one that I would watch on my own almost every single year for a while. But I haven't watched the Jim Carrey one yet. Might need to throw that on as another family thing.
That became became like a once a year thing for me for a while. I do really like it. I think the only criticism I'd have of it is that there are a few scenes in it where you feel like this is a 3D movie. They're clearly just putting this big action set piece in so that we can show off the 3D. But once it gets to the actual, all the bits that are the proper adaptation of the novel and stuff, I love the period, I love the setting and all that, and I just think that the detail is spot on. And it was the point at where Zemeckis had finally fixed the dead eye problem that you have with Polar Express and to a lesser extent, but still Beowulf. I think, I mean, a lot of people seem to really love Polar Express.
I love it.
But they never really mention his version of A Christmas Carol, which I think is a much better story. It's a much better film. The effects work on it is so much better because, again, like I say, they fix the problems with the face. So yeah, if you've not seen it, check it out.
Another one that we just watched yesterday that's a yearly watch for me too that I love is the Tim Allen, the Santa Claus. I think I just watched the third one for the first time last year, so I've finally seen all three. But the first one is the only one that I continuously watch. That's
the first. I like the first two.
Yeah, the second one's pretty good too. I remember that one. But yeah, the third one was a little out there. But that one's great. And then one that I always loved as a kid too, that luckily is on Disney Plus because I kind of forgot about it. It's got Jonathan Taylor Thomas in it, the youngest.
Oh,
kid
Home for Christmas.
Yeah, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Not a fan.
You just like it because it's got Jessica Biel in it.
Well,
oh my goodness, is she in that?
Grade, but there's
Oh, like baby Jessica Biel.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Oh wow. Okay. I enjoy it. Now we're back.
What would you get?
Is it your Black Christmas 2000s?
No.
What would you guys say is the most underrated Christmas movie? Like what one that literally people crap on, but you think is actually you really like it?
Well, I said before, Surviving Christmas.
Do I have to answer this? Because I think I've said it a lot.
Well, I'm gonna throw Fred Claus out there.
Wow.
Yeah, I went into that movie with no expectation. Well, I had expectations, expected it because all the reviews for it were like 1-star, 2-star reviews. And I'd pretty much watched every Christmas movie that was on at that point. When I decided to watch it, I was like, oh, well, Fred Claus, not seen that. I'm not expecting good things, but whatever. We've seen everything else. Stuck it on. And I'm not saying it's a classic or anything, but I really enjoyed it. And I liked the message behind it. I liked the fact that it does kind of talk about this, the whole thing with the naughty and nice list, how it's not something to be, you shouldn't hold it over kids with, because like actually there's a lot of kids out there that are perceived as naughty, but actually it's because they've had a really crappy life and what they got to be happy about and things like that. I don't know, I liked the message behind it. I think there's a much better kind of message there than
there's a great message in Black Christmas too, so I don't know, message and movie are very far apart.
Yeah, Cody, how would you talk about that? The message in Black Christmas.
Which one?
Because you haven't gotten under fire about that enough.
Yeah, no shit.
The original.
Oh, the original. Yeah.
That was good times.
Yeah. I actually like, what's that movie with Diane Keaton from a couple of years back where she has cancer and it's one of their last Christmas together.
Sounds like something I wouldn't watch.
What's his face from Coach? Shit, what is the name of it? It's just this really hokey, feel good.
Because I think like Stepmom.
No, it's after
they do
that.
like a Christmas thing, don't they? But that's Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, that's Julia Roberts too. Man, I can't think of it. I think I own it too. It's just like this weird movie that I find myself watching a bit, and there's nothing that really sticks out about it, obviously. But I'm just like,
she's dying of cancer. That's how.
Well, it's
Christmas with the Coopers.
I love CP's sales pitch. She's like, I watch it for some reason. There's nothing great about it. Nothing stands out.
So do you want it or not?
Escapes me, but
I'll send it to you. $5.
Give me $5, sir.
Oh, you're not. It's not Christmas with a Cooper.
No,
is it? That's
no. Something. A ring, I think maybe has to do with the title. I'll find it.
Now I get to
The
stop
Family
it.
Stone. Thank you, Mizzy E. It's The Family Stone.
Oh, The Family. Yeah. That's one of my wife's favorites, actually.
See,
she really
I'm in
likes
touch with my gentler side.
So now I get to draw attention to Holly Jones in the chat because she actually took the one that I was sitting on. Jack Frost is one that I've always loved since a kid.
Which one?
Go ahead, Lindsay. What do you got?
Well, because everybody, when you say Jack Frost, a lot of people think of the horror one. And I'm like,
Jack
no,
Frost
Michael
with
Keaton,
Keaton.
it's so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
I cry
It's so
every
good.
single time.
It's
Like
good for
the-
me for so many reasons.
Sing me a
because-
smile.
Yes.
Man, it's so boring. It's so
You're
boring.
boring.
Watch that. But you got Jack Frost. I was the right age. I was right at like a year later. I probably would have been too old for the movie. So like it hit me at the right age to where I do have a little nostalgia for it. But it was the first thing in a long time that Michael Keaton had done. So it was cool in its own right just to see him do that. He's great in it. He's charismatic as hell. And I just, as far as Christmas feel-good movies, I love that. I always have a real emotional response to father-son stories because me and my father were always very close. So, or still are, not like we're not anymore, but it always hits me a certain way. Movies like Frequency, stuff like that, it just hits me. And Jack Frost, that movie where his dad passes away on Christmas, and then a year later he gets to have the Christmas with his dad and kind of set everything right. So it's a fun movie to me. It's a family movie. I love Michael Keaton in it. The music in it even is really good, like his band. So yeah, I have a blast with that one. And thank you.
I
dear.
cry every time that I watch that one. Like, not even like tear up just a little bit, but it's like when he like reappears. Spoilers.
Yeah.
When he like reappears
Oh, yeah.
to his wife, and like she says, "Sing me a smile." Like I'm getting misty right now just talking about it. Like, seriously,
I can't believe you guys getting so emotional about a film directed by Mark Steven Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Mark Steven Johnson is, so that's why.
He did Daredevil. He made Daredevil.
That wasn't
Brian,
bad.
you're British.
Daredevil's
We
okay.
barely understand anything you say.
Daredevil's okay. So yeah, that one I think is a little underrated. Clearly, within the example of Brian.
Yeah. I'll defend it. Yeah. Cody, we agreed on something.
What's going on tonight? This is weird.
This is a
And
good.
with that, that's our show.
I'll send you a bag of poop in the mail. Don't worry.
Yeah, there you go.
Even things out.
We got to balance the universe again. Gremlins. Yeah, somebody just brought up Gremlins. Gremlins is a great one. I still have to watch that one this year, too. I got the 4K. I need to see how good it is.
That's out on 4K?
Christmas Vacation.
You know, I actually saw that for the first time last year with Holly. That was another one that always missed me, and that one was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. It's one of John's favorite movies, and I hadn't watched it up until like 5 years ago. And I watch it a couple of times every year. Like, I wanted to get there's like matching Christmas, like ugly Christmas sweater. I wanted to get that for me and John, and it's like, now I can't remember their names, but like say like Joel or something like that. She's like, why is the floor wet, Joel? And then I don't know, Carla. I'm making up names. I don't remember
Oh, the
names
neighbors,
now.
the high tech
neighbors
shit.
when they
Yeah.
come home.
I almost bought, there was a teddy bear version of the shitter was full scene where he's holding the hose and he's waving. It was a teddy bear with that, and I almost bought that for the house because I was buying some Christmas decorations and stuff this year, kind of go a little bit more all out than we did previously, and that was one that I came this close to getting but didn't.
Yeah. Love that movie. It's hilarious.
Indeed.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that we've failed to talk about that's like, oh my god, that one. I mean, Home Alone.
I don't know who that Wes Owen guy is, but he likes to drop just.
Yeah, you know what?
What? I'm Jar Jar Binks. I'm the Jar Jar Binks of this stream.
Wes,
Fuck you, Wes.
You've had a day.
Yeah, he's brought up other words too that are taboo.
He's
around
brought
here.
up hot
I think
topics.
his timeout lapsed and then he came back, so that's cool. Bye bye. Season's greetings. Fuck off.
Whatever. Jar Jar Binks was at least cute, even if he was annoying as all hell.
Let's see. Are you guys a fan of Elf? I know that's probably Holly's favorite.
Yeah, I like
Santa, I know him.
Does it have sugar in
I
it?
enjoy it
Then
when
yes.
we watch it. Yeah.
And every single time I see a raccoon, I think of it hissing.
My favorite part of that whole movie is whenever he's in the boardroom and you got Peter Dinklage and he's like, call me it up one more time, and he's like,
He's an angry elf.
Yeah, that's
just storms across the table.
yeah. That's a testament too to how versatile Jon Favreau is as a director, because he's done so many different movies. He's done action movies. He's got a holiday movie that's basically might as well be a classic now. Yeah, you got the animated-ish movies like The Lion King and The Jungle Book. So he's kind of all over the place. And Chef, I love Chef.
What did he direct? Did he direct Swingers or Made? Or neither?
Made. He wrote Swingers, but he directed Made.
I like Made. I think Made's pretty
I
underrated.
agree. And that was a movie where, like, as far as what to look at is concerned, not much happens, and he's come a very long way. You're right. The guy, you can give him anything right now, and he'll.
It's a fucking starter pistol.
I know he's in Four Christmases. Was that one of his as well?
No.
Jon Favreau?
No, he was just.
No,
in
that
it
was.
Because
I like that one a lot too. That one's hilarious.
Is that the one with Vince Vaughn and
Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
It's okay.
So funny.
No, I really liked Favreau in that because he plays a redneck
UFC.
kind of proper redneck brother, doesn't he? He's just like beating him up all the time with wrestling moves. But yeah, it's not a great film, but I didn't think it was like terrible like a lot of reviews said. I find it watchable. It's easy going. It's something you can just stick on, and it's an easy watch. It's only like 80 minutes as well, so it's over and done with in no time. So. What about I like this film. It's not one of my favorites, but it's one of my wife's favorites, which is The Holiday.
Is that with Cameron Diaz?
Yes.
Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, and Jack Black.
Yeah, I cry during that one too. Apparently, I'm a huge crier.
Apparently.
But when what's her face? Kate Winslet, when she's sitting there talking about her heartbreak. I remember when I first watched that movie, I had just gone through like a really, really bad breakup. And so like everything she was describing was everything that I had been feeling. And I just sobbed. And so now every time I watch that movie, I cry.
Okay,
cool story, bro.
Cool.
We talked about underrated Christmas movies. What about a Christmas movie that seems to get lots of love? I know you've already mentioned A Christmas Story, but try to maybe think of something else. What's one that a lot of people seem to love, but you absolutely hate? I'm going to go with Love Actually.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yes. Ouch.
All right. The original or the...
Sure. Pick one. Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, everyone seems to love Love Actually, but I find it like super depressing.
I hate it. You know what I hate about it most? You know what I absolutely despise about it that really riles me the hell up? Have this storyline in it that is geared and designed towards making you want a couple to have an affair.
Yes.
And it's like, so there's that scene where he comes to the door and he's holding the cards rather than speaking because he didn't want to give himself away.
Were they cards or were they pictures?
The cards. They're cards. And it's like, and there's this music there, romantic music, like you're supposed to root for these guys or feel sad that they can't be together. And actually, I'm sat there thinking, dude, that's your best mate's wife. Check yourself. All right, it's just like, and I hate the fact that so I hate that.
And especially because the husband isn't a bad guy.
Yeah,
he's a really good guy. Like at least if you want to try to ship them, at least make him an asshole.
Yeah.
But like you literally leave that movie just going like people's marriages are breaking up, they almost cheat, like wives are dying, and I'm like. But I'm not ready for Christmas now.
But it's painted. It's painted as this really light and fluffy romantic comedy at Christmas, and it's like so when that scene happens, I'm just like, are you kidding me with this? Like people sing this film's praises as one of the best Christmas movies. You must be smoking crack because it's just absolute.
Brian, we're just trying to move forward from this portion of the movie.
All right.
I don't have one that I hate, but I do have one that everybody seemed to love that never really worked for me, and that's Bad Santa.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since it came out, but that's one of those movies. Like, look, it's no secret that I cuss like a sailor, but sometimes when you have a movie where it seems like they had Mad Lib scripts where they're like, insert cuss word here, and it's like every third word is fuck, and I'm like, it just ruins the joke that they're going for because it's like laid on too thick. I don't know if that's changed since I've grown. But I never really thought that movie was as funny as everybody made it out to be. But kind of reverting back to the previous one, Holly got my answer again, which I totally forgot about, and I'm ashamed that I forgot. The Family Man with Nicolas Cage. I love The Family Man. That's a really good Christmas one where he's a rich asshole, basically. He had a chance to be with Téa Leoni, and he chose to get on this plane to go pursue this job. And then years later, he's this really rich guy with nothing, basically, and he gets the chance to go back and make the other decision. And he gets to spend, blue-collar, everyday, cul-de-sac life with Téa Leoni instead of being a rich guy up in the top tower of whatever corporation he's at. And that's a really good Christmas movie to me. And one of the better Nicolas Cage movies that aren't like one of the 90s action ones where he was kind of on top. That's a good kind of down-to-earth Nicolas Cage movie.
Marcelo Delgado just mentioned The Apartment, which I completely forgot is actually a Christmas movie. It's from 1960, won the Best Picture Oscar, directed by Billy Wilder, and it's absolutely one of my favorite films of all time. Absolutely brilliant. If they remade it today with Jim Carrey, I think they could do a good job with it. If the right director did it, but no, it's The Apartment's great. It's quite depressing in many ways, but it's also very funny, and it does have kind of an uplifting feel about it towards the end. So that's a good Christmas film, I think.
How are you guys on Harold and Kumar's Christmas? Do you like that one?
Never watched it.
I think I saw it once.
It's surprisingly, it might be the funniest of the three if you like any of them. I don't remember enough about the plot. I know that you got Danny Trejo as like his father-in-law, and he accidentally ignites his prize tree, so I think they're trying to get a tree. But you got like Waffle Bot. It's this little robot that makes waffles. It's like a character in the movie. It's pretty out there, but that one's pretty damn funny if I remember correctly. I don't know, Holly. I don't know what I would do without you.
You want to see CP get angry?
No.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we go.
One that everybody praises that I cannot stand whatsoever is Krampus.
I understand that.
I'm getting angry. Hey, Krampus is good, dammit.
It's awful.
I don't know. Awful would be the word I'd use, but.
Yeah, I know. And this is coming from somebody who likes the remake of Black Christmas.
Yeah, I was real excited for Krampus, and I didn't hate it, but I certainly maybe I was overhyped or had my expectations high because it was the dude who did Trick or Treat. But I walked away just going, okay.
Yeah, too much CGI and like unnecessary
comedy.
Kind of like I was like, what tone are you going for with this? Like I'm not quite following you. And
like Gremlins.
Like usually, like I said, like a lot of different movies, like you want my defense mostly for Breaking Bad too. Like you want to at least have like one character that you like, and like in that movie, like it's the little boy, but still, I'm like, now you're getting everybody fucking killed and all this kind of stuff. But like that entire family, like I didn't want a single one of them to live. I wanted to see each and every single one of them die. And like as the movie progresses, you can see that they're trying to kind of win you over with some of them. And I'm like, no, still kill them, please. Kill all of them. Kill them all.
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Oh, funny movie.
Yeah, that's a good funny one. Yeah. Shane Black, like, how many of his movies do you consider Christmas movies? Because he got, like, Iron Man 3 that certainly has
yes, it is.
a bit of a Christmas vibe to it. Is Predators in Christmas? I hope not, because it's terrible.
No, I don't think so. Like,
it might be the one.
It's on a different planet.
Nice Guys only has the final scene, so it's definitely not a Christmas movie. It's just the last scene.
The Long Kiss Goodnight, that's one that definitely has some Christmas vibe to me. I love that one.
Yeah.
What
about Last Action Hero? Does that have?
No.
That Michelle Monaghan is supper.
Yes.
You always come in from the left, like just like really like just under the radar. You're that guy that whispers in people's ears at the movie theater, aren't you?
Yeah. That's how I get a whole row to myself.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. We might have all right, here's one more. Well, one more little topic for Christmas movies, and then we can either maybe talk about movies this year, kind of a year wrap up a little bit, or we can just take chat questions if you want. But this is one that I do enjoy this movie, but it's never been at the top of my list, which would probably shock people because I love Christmas and I love horror. Nightmare Before Christmas has never quite been at the top of my list there. I don't know if I'm alone with that. It seems like it seems like everybody that I say that to is like, oh.
I like it. I like it a lot. I used to absolutely love it. I watched it so many times back in my Tim Burton's awesome days. But it's one of those films where there's lulls in it. Like there's certain sections of it where once those sections come on, I'm like, oh yes. Like when Jack first goes to Christmas Town and all the color palette changes and becomes brighter and whatnot. And there's a lot of scenes in Halloween Town that I don't know, they lag for me. They're a bit too dull. Like literally, the color palette on it is so dull it depresses me a bit. But like I say, when Jack becomes Santa Jack and all that stuff, and I like all the stuff with Oogie Boogie Man. So yeah, depending on what song we're on or which section of the film we're on, I absolutely love and adore it. Or I'm just like, yeah. But yeah, I still really like it.
Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. Yes, Cody. Cody was referring to me as your soulmate.
Oh man.
Oh boy. I think
got
with
a Cody in there.
Yeah, the like Nightmare Before Christmas, a big appeal of that film for me is just like everything that goes into making it. Like when I watch it, like there's such an appreciation for how much work it takes to put those together. And I like that one, Corpse Bride, like I just love watching them. They're so good.
Henry Selick don't get enough credit at all. So Henry Selick directed it, not Tim Burton. A lot of people think Tim Burton directed it, and he didn't.
Oh yeah, trust me. I think I didn't say he directed it, or I might have phrased it in a way that made me think I was saying that when I did a top 10 Halloween movie, and I think 70% of my fucking comments in that 2-year-old video is Tim Burton didn't direct it. And I'm like, I know.
It's like if you look at Coraline, which is another really great stop motion animation, Tim Burton had nothing to do with that one. Absolutely, that was all Henry Selick, and I think you see just how much he brought to Nightmare Before Christmas. To be honest, he does an amazing job. Yeah.
Somebody asked earlier in the chat, and it was actually a really good question. Is there any Christmas episodes of certain TV shows that you guys watch every year?
West Wing, yes. Oh man. It's like every year on the West Wing they did a Christmas episode, and it was always the Christmas episode of West Wing that would win awards around the Emmys and TV awards season time, and it's because they're just always really emotional. So like every year I put Wing box set, and I just stick all the Christmas episodes on. Love them, absolutely love them.
Anybody else got one that you watch continuously, or it's like one of your favorites?
Well, like, I don't know if I can even count it because I just watch the series over and over again all year round. But I love like the Christmas episodes on Friends.
Yeah.
The Christmas and Thanksgiving episodes are all really good ones. I don't know. If it counts, I suppose. Words and thoughts and memories. Tales from the Crypt, All Through the House. Because they did a movie of it and remade that segment, and I don't think it was as good in the movie. The really short one that was on TV was so much better, and it's actually like extremely creepy. I really, really like that one.
Remember, I don't remember specifically things that happened in it, but I remember Supernatural having a really good Christmas episode where they kind of went back to all the weird, like non-traditional Christmases throughout the years on the road with their dad. I remember that being a really good one, and I want to
Is that
say
the one where they get kidnapped by the two people that are
I haven't
they're
seen it in so
like
long.
they're gods, and so they're waiting for their pagan like nobody pays them tribute anymore, so now they have to kill people and eat them.
It sounds right. It sounds right. It's from season 3. I know that, but I haven't watched season 3 in such a long time that I remember just vaguely pieces of it. Holly says Gilmore Girls. That's her favorite show of all time. I don't know.
Oh, Holly, we need to break up.
Oh, wow. Agreed's mine.
I've tried so many times to get into that show, and I just can't do it.
I watched a small handful of episodes, and it's the thing that stood out to me about that show is the way the dialogue is. It's very fast, almost like there's no breath between it, and that's all I could concentrate on after a while is how fast dialogue would go.
But that's how I talk. You think that I would like that?
I think so. I want to say, didn't Boy Meets World have a lot of really good Christmas episodes too? I'm trying to look. I want to say, isn't there a Christmas episode in Boy Meets World, the one where like Topanga comes back after she supposedly moved? That was like a big one. Or am I the only one that watched that show?
Oh no, I watched the show. I don't really like. I always remember the Scream episode. The Scream episode is my favorite.
Me too. Yeah, I love that one. I don't know. I could be remembering that wrong. I want to say there was a Christmas episode. There's the season where Topanga had to move away, and it was like a big heartbreak thing. And then the Christmas episode is where she came back, like she hitchhiked back to Corey or something like that.
Is this? Oh yeah, when they're really young. Because like I know there's Christmas episodes in the college years.
I'm keeping the kids.
I'm sure she's gonna tell you can keep them. Holly said she's keeping the kids.
Oh yes, that's fine. They're yours.
She said they're yours.
I couldn't hear that. What?
Cha-ching, child support.
Oh, I don't work right now. You can't milk blood from a stone.
She'll try, trust me. Let's see here.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
John came home, so the dogs barked.
Woo!
Guys! I'm so sorry.
Do they want visitors?
Oh, man.
They're
Who's
very
this? Oh, it's Dad.
Yeah. They never bark when I come in the house, but like John like walks up to the front door and they lose their minds.
My dog loses his ever-loving shit when I come home. He runs back and forth. He jumps on the couch and he like shakes and tries to jump up, and he's got really sharp claws, so sometimes I'll try to hold him, but then I'm like, I'm like holding him, and then when I try to let him down, he like claws as he falls, so it's always like, oh, it's a painful love moment where I'm holding my dog. I think we've milked, like you talking about milking blood from a stone, I think we've milked all of the Christmas talk that we can get, because I can't find, we pretty much nailed every single movie unless there's one that's really hidden in there.
Oh, I could go on all day about Christmas movies.
There's a couple of super.
I am going to watch.
We don't have all day.
Was it you, Lindsay, that said that the Christmas Horror Story is really good? Is that the name of it? I was going to watch that, so I'll watch that.
I love The Christmas Horror Story. I just watched that like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, my coordinator at work brought it up, and I was like, I have a friend of mine that I think was a really big fan of that one, so I'm going to try to check that one out this week. Uh-oh, did everybody freeze?
No.
I love anthologies, and that one does it.
Hey, what? Eyes Wide Shut is a Christmas movie?
Ha ha ha.
Is that a question or a
Load it up.
Oh, man.
There you go. Eyes Wide Shut, Christmas movie. Boom.
There you go. Number 1.
Nothing makes me feel more festive than Eyes Wide Shut.
The only scene that I've seen of that movie is where Tom Cruise is in like a cult or something like that, and he's walking around with a mask. That's the only part that I've seen.
Yeah, I've never watched it because it just doesn't interest me.
It's the only scene anyone talks about. It's like 20-minute scene, and then there's another 2.5 hours of movie that no one ever talks about.
Is it worth seeing? Is this like a begrudging?
I don't know.
Like...
Yeah, there's enough nudity in it to drag you through it, because it's just like, yeah, I'll spend 20 minutes. Oh, look, there's a pair of tits, so I guess I'll keep watching. What did you say, Lindsay? Lindsay?
Oh, I'm trying to keep up with you guys, but you guys are like jumping all over the place.
Oh, yeah, you're the one. Oh, yeah, you're skipping.
Oh, good.
And now you're a really thin
Good.
line.
Maybe it's your phone. Yeah.
Up.
I bet you it's John came home.
There you go.
I blame him.
He just
He's on his
milked
phone
all the
messing up your
fucking
connection.
signal.
Lindsay, have you seen enough new movies this year to be able to talk about that, or would I be really screwing you up if we started talking about movies in 2019?
Just do best and worst, no, of what we've seen.
Oh, there we go. No, I couldn't hear what you were saying because it kept freezing, but then it caught up. I've been doing mostly catch up for like films from like last year that I didn't get around to. Like yesterday, I finally watched Pet Sematary. That was this year, wasn't it?
Yes. What do you think? Exactly.
Honestly, like this is gonna be really, really bad, but I didn't care that the girl died.
Yeah.
I did not care. Like when I saw the little boy like running towards the street, like I knew that the twist, because they ruined it with the freaking commercial. I like it's still like my throat, like my stomach was in my throat. I was like, no, and then like it hit her, and I was like, oh, there we go, we're okay. Like I did not care about her at all, and then like the funeral wasn't as sad. Him digging her up wasn't as sad. Like in the original, like when he's holding on to Gate, it kills me every single time.
Me too. Yeah, that was the big. That was the big thing we all agreed on with that movie. It was just missing the emotion from the first one. Yeah, you could talk about better actors, you could talk about better filmmaking or whatever, but to me, the emotion hits hard in the original, where this one just felt very clean. It felt very modern, to where it's like it just didn't have the punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need those rough edges, really, don't you?
And like, like spoil the with Gage being in the car, and it's like beep boop, like, oh, now they're gonna do it to the freaking baby. Like, I don't like that. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, it still ends off in a sour note for the original, but there's, I don't know. Like, at least then you're like, okay, well, the daughter's still safe in that one, and she's annoying as hell. I could have done with her.
But the original, the guy doesn't learn his lesson. They were trying to help. Pascal was trying to help him. There's no like lesson learned in the remake. It's just like, well, who fucking cares? What's going on here?
My biggest thing was that they go through all the trouble of changing.
You could have lifted Pascal out.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, you froze for a second. Go ahead.
Oh no, you could have lifted Pascal out completely, and it wouldn't have changed anything out of the remake. Like he was so wasted.
Right.
Yeah, you get the defense of that's how he was in the book, but then he wasn't used in the book very well, in my opinion. But I haven't read the book. But the thing with me was, if you're going to go through so much trouble of changing such a major thing from Gage to Ellie, that they didn't really utilize it. Like, for me, when I saw it, I was pissed that the twist was ruined, but I was like, okay, well, they could do some cool things with that, because a walking, talking, intelligent young girl can do more damage than a baby. And then you get to the end of the movie, and it's like she dies. You get the creepy scene where he's like combing her hair, and you see the stitches in her head. And then the movie's like, snap, snap, credits. And I was like, what the hell? And like, there could have been a whole expanded third act where there's a lot of crazy shit going on with her questioning why she's alive. And like, there's so much they could have done. It to me, it just kind of felt lifeless. No pun intended.
Yeah. No, I wasn't a huge fan, and I was really upset about that, because I don't know, there was parts of me that kind of had higher hopes for it, just because like I knew that there was so much that could be explored with that concept, but I feel like they took the easy way out on that one.
Lindsay, do you have your YouTube page on the background?
Oh, you think that's why?
Yeah, if you do, can you close it, please?
It was it's been on the entire time though.
Yeah. It might help.
It's closed.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll message John and just tell him to get off the Wi-Fi, because if he's using anything on the Wi-Fi, then it might be causing me to lag.
Yeah.
Just tell like 30 more minutes. We'll wrap it up.
You've become a really tiny slit.
I'll let you dig yourself out of
that
that
picture. What would you call that? What does that picture look like to you? Oh, there you are.
I don't have my YouTube page open, man. I have us and I have the chat
Oh,
every single
yeah,
time.
now you're back
so-
totally. See?
Yeah. Sometimes it does do that if I have Photoshop or something like that open in the back.
Yeah.
It's like it takes
Yeah.
a little juice away. Did you ever get a chance to see Child's Play, Lindsay?
I started watching it the one day, and then CP's uncle had lent me his copy, and about like 10, 15 minutes, and it just some sort of weird page telling me to go to a website.
Ugh.
So I couldn't finish watching it. So I just don't have the means to watch it right now, but I do want to.
Oh.
Like when it came out, there was like a lot of personal stuff going on at home, so there was no going to the theater.
Oh, what do you say, June? Around June of 2019?
Yeah.
Well,
we all
not
had
that
some
stuff, but like, yeah.
No, I hear you. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that okay. Trying to think of like some of the bigger ones. Did you see Endgame?
Obviously, yeah.
That one made the cut. What'd you think of that one? Did Endgame cap everything off for you in a good way? Did that make your top?
Like, can we talk spoilers? Like,
Yes.
at this point, everybody's seen it, right?
Everybody saw it.
I'm a horrible person, because going into it, all I said to anyone, I was just like, I'm so scared that they're gonna kill Cap. If they do, like, I will walk out of the theater. Because that's something that I can't grasp. I can't wrap my head around. And then, all I kept telling people, I was just like, I hope they kill Tony. Like, just kill him. Like, it's fine. Like, I won't be upset over that. And then when it happened, I was like, oh wow, I'm the asshole. Oh, shit. And then like I emotional with him talking to, but when he was talking to the kid, Spider-Man.
Yeah, when they hug, it's just like, oh.
Well, yeah, when he hugs him when he comes back, I was just like, oh yeah, like that's so sweet. But then like when he's saying goodbye to him, and he was just like, we won, Mr. Stark, we won, and I'm like, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Who opened onions?
But it was good, and I was really happy with how they left everything with Cap. And honestly, like I feel kind of bad, because whenever people talk about it, like they talk about Tony and they talk about Cap, and they like they'll even talk about Captain Marvel and stuff like that, and nobody talks about Black Widow. And I'm like, yeah, she died. She just lifted right out, and not a whole lot of people really cared that much about it. Like, it's forgettable.
It's weird because we already knew we were getting another movie. Yeah. So we know you're never. Well, I won't say we know, never say never, but we're led to believe very strongly that you're never going to see Tony Stark again. You're never going to see Captain America again. And so you see Black Widow, but you already know there's a Black Widow movie coming. So even though it must take place before Endgame, you're like, oh, we got more. So,
yeah, I didn't know that when I saw the movie, though. So they killed her, and I was just like, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like Tony Stark felt like closure, whereas Black Widow, because you knew that movie, because we knew the movie was coming. To me, it didn't feel like closure. It just felt like, oh, she'll be back. Whatever.
Yeah, and Marvel's done that dozens of times where somebody dies and they get resurrected. So it takes they have to really hit it home to make any death in a Marvel film have punch to it.
But like
they did it
I
with
feel
Tony.
like they did that whole like deck by the lake scene, like showing like Hulk get mad and throw the bench and all of this, and like everybody like being real sad about it. But I'm like, see, I don't even believe that. Nobody really looked all that like distraught over it. Like, I didn't buy it, and I'm like, I know you guys are good actors, so I should be believing this.
The funny thing to me is like they should have known when they went to that little dimension or whatever that one of them wasn't coming back. So to me, it was almost funny. Like, we'll send those two to go. Like, we'll send Hawkeye. You guys go get the Soul Stone. We'll go.
They're like, oh, we get to go together. Awesome.
Yeah. And then one doesn't come back, and they're like.
Well, thank God they sent two, and those two people loved each other, because they would have been in a pickle if there was only one of them.
Yeah. No shit.
I'm just looking down at my paint. I can't. One more look, guys.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a thing of beauty. Yeah, I think people were asking to see yours again, CP, because they couldn't see yours. You didn't have it right in the center.
Is it in the center enough now?
Just hold it like that for the rest of the show.
Okay.
And
I wish I had something to hold.
It makes me.
That movie is probably the best theater experience I've ever had in my life. I'm not saying it's my favorite movie of all time. I really loved it, and it might be my number one of the year. But as far as theater experiences, man, you want to talk about like the craziest, most awesome fan response, that whole movie. Every time one of the big fan moments came, like the theater would like erupt and cheer like it was a football game or something like that. The whole like last 30-40 minutes was insanity when you get to certain fight scenes, and like especially the scene whenever you see the hammer move and then shoots back and then Cap catches it. Everybody was like, "Ah!" Like the whole theater flipped out, and then he starts beating the hell out of Thanos. Like as far as excitement.
And then later they trade. He's like, no, you take
this one. Yeah. Yeah. That movie, I don't know if I'll have a movie experience like that again. I'm glad that I saw it opening night with the crowd that I did, because it was pretty incredible.
Like as soon as like all of the portals start opening up and people start walking out, I start to get like misty-eyed. Like it's almost like a proud kind of moment. You're like, yeah, there they are.
When you're on your left and everybody's like, yeah. Then you see the first, like, I think Black Panther was the first one to come out. That was the other one.
Is that everyone? You wanted more?
Yeah. Exactly.
Every time John comes home and I'm watching it, he was like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's really good.
I rewatched one that I saw this year that's kind of floated under the radar a bit, and I probably enjoyed it more rewatching it last night with Holly than I did seeing it in the theaters. Did you guys see Long Shot this year?
I did.
No.
That's probably one of the best comedies I've seen in a couple of years. That one really it does a really good job at being like a romantic comedy, but being raunchy enough to where it doesn't feel like it's chick flicky. But it's political based too, which is dangerous nowadays. And they do a really good job at kind of having that message in the movie of you should be able to have a conversation with the other side. There's like a nice little jokey moment between him and Ice Cube's son there. That's a really good one. If you like romantic comedies and stuff, that's probably the best comedy I've seen in the past, at least since The Big Sick.
One that a lot of people have been talking about, and actually it reminds me of your stream. I got to watch some of your stream last night, today, CP. And you and Emily were talking about, is it like a Marriage Story?
Oh yeah, with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, yeah.
I got, I think, half hour, 45 minutes into it, and I turned it off. Like there was no like redeeming parts to
it's
it.
not
like
fun.
It just made me feel like shit.
It's not fun.
From what I gathered, I didn't even know what that movie was, and then it just kind of popped onto our little sphere for a while, where all of a sudden everybody on Twitter was talking about it. And from what I gathered, it was one of those movies that just makes you soak in misery for 2 hours. And I was like, no thanks.
You need
like it just made me like really depressed, and like them like describing each other. I'm like, oh yeah, that's like how I would describe John. And then I'm like he's talking about like how she's messy or whatever, but like she's really competitive and all this. And I'm like, that's how John would describe me. So then like you're relating to these characters already. And then it's just like they throw you down a hill and then hit you with a transport truck and then like pee on your corpse. And it was just so incredibly depressing. And there wasn't really any like charming moments that kind of make it a little bit better. Like depressing movies are fine. Like you watch, like I brought up earlier, Stepmom.
It swings back around.
Such a sad movie.
It swings back around. It's a modern day Kramer versus Kramer. Plus, if you've been divorced, it's a fucking riot. Let me tell you, because there was parts where I was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest movie ever." Because some of it is like right down to the, we don't need lawyers. I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. And then sure enough, Watch Your Tits gets lawyers. And then just, it spoke to me, that movie. It spoke to me.
But you're dead inside.
Yeah. What does that tell you?
A buddy of mine.
It's the soda.
It's all my missing body parts.
Sean Chandler was getting a lot of flack on Twitter when that hit, because he said he doesn't want to watch it and wasn't going to review it. And everybody's like, but you're supposed to. You're a movie reviewer. And he's like, my personal experience Like my personal past makes me not want to experience this. I don't have any interest in it. You should do it. And it was funny just seeing him get shit on because I was like, oh my God, this movie, is it that good? Is it that important? And like, I haven't been through a divorce, haven't even been married yet, and I have no interest in watching it. So I could imagine if somebody's got some past trauma regarding that word.
Well, and especially for people that haven't been married yet, it's like, oh, so this is you want me to get married, and this is what I have to like potentially look forward to? Like, no thanks. Everything's good how it is. Let's just keep it how it is.
It's not for people looking to get married. It's for people who don't think enough about getting divorced.
Yeah, it really lost me, and I tried so hard to keep watching.
Oh,
it.
I was
Lost.
giggling. I forgot. Emily came in, thought
still not seen it.
She thought I was choking. She's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was laughing for like 3 minutes straight. I'm like, "This fucking thing. It was the stupidest." It was the stupidest thing in this depressing movie. I was rolling. Look at my gallows humor.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to
best unintentional comedies Marriage Story.
It made
right above Requiem.
It made 2 years of pain feel funny for a second. It was just like, see, somebody else knows what this feels like. This is great.
Oh man.
I've got to watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I want to experience what funny part this was, but I don't think it's.
I'll find it.
I'm gonna text him afterwards, and be like, "What part?"
I'll
was funny?
find
He's
it.
gonna be like, "That
I'll
part."
find it.
The only scene that I've seen, it was the only one that was floating around Twitter, was where they're basically tearing into each other in that room. Where he's like, "I wish you would die."
Yeah.
And I was like, 2.5 hours of that? Okay.
There's a part where they're fighting over custody with the kid, and Adam Driver's in a rush, and he's got to get the kid. He's got a car rental, and he's got to get the kid into the car seat, and it's not set up. And the kid wants to play and stay with Scarlett Johansson, and like he's in a rush, he's got to get going, and he's fidgeting around. And Adam Driver just goes, "Just get in the fucking car." And he goes, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but would you just get in the fucking car?"
That's me on a normal day. I can understand.
He apologized and then said the same thing.
That's something that's funny just if you have kids, because kids will push to that point over nothing. Yeah. Like just my kids they all have their quirks. I have one that brings up the weirdest stuff, like because he's a real science brain, so he'll just bring up random facts, and I'm like, why did I need to know that? I have another one that asks questions about everything, and then I have Riley that just wants a piece of everything that I have. So it's a sandwich, if it's a cookie, if it's a glass of milk. If it's anything, she wants part of it. And so I have 3 different angles that I'm getting punched with on a daily basis. So it takes by 9 a.m. Get in the fucking car. Let's go.
Together they sound like Emily.
Oh man. Oh.
What's like top 5 of the year for you guys? If you don't mind giving, I mean, I know you probably usually do videos and stuff, and you might not want to give that away at this point, but you don't have to put them in order or anything. But handful.
I bet nobody's seen this, but One Cut of the Dead just slayed me. One Cut of the Dead is a Japanese movie about a Japanese horror film where they're making a zombie movie, and is
that one that Cecil was praising a lot last year?
It might be. For the first half an hour, you're like, this is fucking stupid. What is this? And then there's this twist where you find out why it was so stupid, and then everything kind of pays off that first half an hour, and it's quite funny. It's quite well made, and I really, really enjoyed that movie. Parasite is up there for me.
What is that about? Because I keep hearing that movie and I have no idea what it is, where to find it, where to see it.
Foreign language. Can you deal with foreign language?
If it's a good movie, I can.
We're not getting it over here till February, so if anybody's uncle's got it, I
might be your huckleberry. So these people, this poor family figures out a way to finagle their way into jobs for working for this rich family. And they're all like cheating the system. Like within a couple of weeks, the whole family is working for this rich family to get paid. But a secret gets let out, and that's all I will say. I'll tell.
Is it like a horror film?
No. It's a weird.
It's like a drama.
It's a weird thriller where some fucked up shit happens in the third act, and you're like, okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
In an audition kind of way?
No.
Martyrs.
No. No. There's violence. There's not like. It's like a straightforward movie where these people are sneaking around trying not to get caught, but by the third act something happens and you're like, they're really in trouble now.
Gotcha.
No piano wire.
No.
One that certainly will make the top of my list, that is not going to make a lot of other lists, and I'm sure I'm going to have to defend it or delete a lot of people from my channel once the comment section rolls, is Terminator Dark Fate. That's definitely one of my favorite movies this year. It's one of the movies that I've been baffled at a lot of the criticism held towards it. Some of it I can understand. I think a lot of it's the way that people convey their thoughts that make it to where it's baffling. But I think that movie has way more going for it than a lot of people have either let themselves experience because they're hung up on the first 2.5 minutes. And to me, obviously, it is going to be the last Terminator movie now. I would have been excited for a new couple of movies, but as a bookend to it, I think it's a nice way to kind of wrap it up. So yeah, that one really hit pretty good for me.
Yeah, agreed. Everything you just said. I love Terminator. I thought it was a very good Terminator film. I was like, awesome, we're back on track, good stuff. And then the fans screwed us over by spitting the dummies out, and I kind of hate fandom these days is really killing stuff for me. Like I so want to come off most social media now because I'm sick of it. I'm like, it's this thing where I think because of the environment we now live in, where YouTube, we got people like us who can do what we do. It's become this thing where opinion has become the be all and end all, and it's like if I just throw an opinion out there, that's it. That's all that matters. And there's no
Brian,
there's
we're
no kind
influencers.
It's just like people just they want to get their opinion out first, and they want to be dramatic with it, and it's like the fastest
ever.
Yeah, fastest, easiest way to get noticed is by just really crapping on something, and it pisses me off. It's like Star Wars. I've not even seen Star Wars yet, and it's like, it'd barely been out. Like a few hours it'd been out, and Twitter was alive with all the trolls coming out and saying, worst film ever. It's like, I can tell you from the trailer that it is not the worst film ever.
Not even the worst Star Wars film ever.
I know. It's like, I'm sorry, but if you've clearly never seen Massacre Mansion or any flipping Uwe Boll
Black
film.
Christmas.
It's just like, yeah, it's worst film ever. Kiss my ass. Worst film ever. Whatever. It's just people like to go to polar opposites. They can never just come out and say, look,
superlative
film. Yeah. It's just like they never want to meet in the middle anywhere. Films aren't just good these days. They're either the best thing you've ever seen in life or they're the worst thing that have raped your childhood. And it's like, get a grip. Get a grip.
Yeah, you don't see too much in the middle. We kind of live in that clickbait culture, especially in our sphere where nobody can just say, Terminator Dark Fate movie review. It's got to be Terminator is the worst piece of shit review, or Star Wars Rise of Skywalker destroys everything review, and they have like big bold letters, and it's that type of thing that drives me nuts too. I even had somebody, I had a comment that made me laugh yesterday because my Rise of Skywalker review, before we even went live, I was like, it's like 3.75 is what I gave it, so it's good. It's somewhere in the middle of the ranking for me. have some issues, but I definitely enjoyed quite a bit of it. And somebody left a comment, something to the effect of, it was talking about how usually like my rant worthiness, like how is the rant guy in the horror tube that doesn't give a shit about trolls and all this other stuff have the the most even-minded Star Wars review I've seen or something like that. And I don't remember exactly how he worded it, but it made me laugh when I watched it. And it's because of that. You get a lot of, even people that I'm friends with, I've seen where they saw it the night of, they had a live spoiler review with a big graphic with a certain word on there, like the trigger word, like, oh, this guy agrees with me, I need to watch. And it's just, I'm the same way with you. And it's the Rotten Tomatoes thing too, where, it used to be you would have to go see a movie to find out if it was good or not. You might be able to look in the newspaper and find a review or something like that. But nowadays, the reviews, the scores, they grade a movie before it's even out to the public. And so people like to kind of jump into that. If it gets a 27%, they're like, oh, it's garbage. Not even going to bother with it. And it's unfortunate. I would be massively curious how Terminator Dark Fate especially would do if that whole culture just kind of got shut off for a couple months.
I'm gonna lose some fans with this opinion, but people should stop giving Rotten Tomatoes so much weight, because officially now there are a lot of people that are accredited on Rotten Tomatoes that do not have an education in film. They do not have any sort of resume that speaks to a place in critique. They're just influencers. They're just people with a lot of eyes on their pages. So that score officially means even less than it did a year or two ago. So I don't think people should. If you were paying attention to the Rotten Tomatoes score, they're letting a lot of people in that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
They really do. The application process is based off of the amount of eyes on you, not off of your. Because I have applied for it because I would rather combat scores that I think are ridiculous. But I applied for it probably 3 months ago. God knows when I'll find out, yes or no. But in the application for online influencers, literally all it says is minimum of or suggested minimum of 30,000 subscribers or more. Other than that, you can put your name, your address, a link to your channel, a link to some of your reviews, and maybe they give you a little spot to describe yourself, but that's about it. It's not where did you get an education in film, where's your accredited reviews, nothing like that. So if you're looking for the accredited critics, which most people try to shit on that opinion, they usually look at the audience opinion anyway. The critic opinion is going to start to be a mix of the critic and the audience opinion, which is going to just be weird.
What is a camera? Can you answer that?
I mean, we literally, and this isn't saying anything positive or negative towards this person, but we actually already know somebody that was contacted by Rotten Tomatoes and said, hey, do you want to be a critic, because they specialize in a certain genre of film that they don't have a lot of critics for, and now this person can add their critic scores to all the other genres that they don't necessarily care for. And so it's just a weird system. I've never been one to check the Rotten Tomato scores anyway, but nowadays it's like a cultural Bible. Like they even put it, I can't stand when they do it, but they even put it on the damn Blu-ray cover where it's not even a sticker anymore. It's just stamped Rotten Tomatoes approved. And I'm like, fucking get off my.
Yeah.
It's the thing is,
I've
you know,
never once.
it's like you could get a movie where right across the board, all the critics give it like a 3-star review. So it's good, but it's not spectacular. But because they all across the board have given it a 3-star review, you then have a film that has got 100%.
Yeah, and people don't understand that that's the way it works.
And then you could have a film where it's split 50-50, where you've got 50% giving it like 5-star reviews. They don't just think it's good, they think it's an absolute classic. And then the other 50% say, no, I can't get on board with it. I don't like it at all. So it's a really divisive film. But if you like it, then you can see the genius in it or whatever. And then that film will get like, 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. So people think, oh, well, it's crap then. Well, no, because half of the critics are saying it's like 5-star, you should watch it. So surely that is better than a film where critics all across the board have just said, "Nah, it's good."
Yeah. Black
Yeah,
Christmas has a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that is a bad movie. You could support the message all you want. The movie itself is awful. This isn't film criticism anymore. This is just my taste. And
the funny thing is too is when you actually dive deep into some of these, not for everyone, but some of them, like for example, like when Rambo Last Blood came out, you click on that, which got like, I think it was somewhere in the 30s or something. It was a low score. But you look at the quotes, like the overall message, like the header that people put on their reviews, and sometimes it's like, did you even watch the movie, or is this just like an outlet to get something out? Like I remember when the Accountant came out with Ben Affleck, and some of the reviews that were shitting on it was detesting gun violence in a Trump's America, and I'm like, what does that have to do with this fucking movie? And like you watch that, and it's just like, what the hell? So even those are weird to me in how the scores work. Like they've gotten to where now the audience score, I think you actually have to verify that you've seen the movie, which is good, because otherwise you could just go in there and be like, Captain Marvel sucks, and just spam it. But there's you have to deep dive. If you like Rotten Tomatoes, that's cool, but I think people too often just look at the number as like a grade on a test. And it's like, oh, it got a 94, it must be good. And it's like, if you look into the 94, you see the average score, then you start looking into some of the reviews. Like, if you're that keen on it, do a little deep diving.
I think movies is well, much like any other artistic medium, is something where, like, if you have some sort of interest, watch it for yourself. Who cares if the thing's a 0 and you watch it and love it? Who cares? Like, congratulations, you saw something that nobody else liked, but you do. It shouldn't really matter what scores are. I mean, granted, when money's on the line, that's one thing, but people are. It's this weird like version of FOMO where it's just to go, oh yeah, like this gang culture, like, yeah, this sucks, let me get on it and blah 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 blah. Have you seen it? No, but man, I've heard. Oh, okay.
And I had somebody, not to get right back onto it, I had somebody that I do consider myself a friend with who is in somewhat our sphere that was dropping live streams and videos, about at least 3 of them on Terminator Dark Fate, without having even seen the film. And that's where I'm like, now you're really getting into some danger where you're stating your opinion on something you don't know anything about. But even that's kind of a weird thing out there. Ugh.
Sorry.
Terminator.
Sorry.
Terminator sparked a lot of debate here, guys. Lindsay, what's one of your favorite ones from this year?
I haven't really seen a whole lot of new movies. I've been watching a lot of like documentaries this year. I just like sometimes I'll revisit some of like my favorite ones, like obviously about serial killers because I'm a normal person. But I just watched one the other day, the Don't Fuck with Cats.
It's the second time I've heard that. It's about a guy who kills cats or something like that on YouTube, right?
Well, that's just how he's found. Because he kills cats because he wants attention. What? He wants people to know who he is. So he does like a catch me if you can sort of thing, like dropping hints for people to like keep following him and stuff like that, and like try to find out who he is. And like he created fan pages for himself all over like Facebook and stuff like that, with a whole bunch of like different like sock puppet accounts. Like this guy's totally crazy. And then he's from Toronto.
Oh, it's from Canada, huh? Interesting. Yeah, bunch of accounts.
Really great. And then he kills a human being online. Live.
Yeah. Like legit?
Yeah. Yeah, legitimately kill somebody. This was like a murder, and he was called like the Montreal Butcher or something like that. But it's a story basically how all of these people online saw that he was like killing cats. They're like, the next step is going to be a person, and they're trying to get the authorities to pay attention to them. And they kind of, some people kind of paid attention to it, but they obviously didn't pay enough attention, and then somebody died because they didn't really listen to them.
They say that about Dahmer too.
This is a documentary.
Yeah, this is a true story. This actually happened. The guy was lived 3 hours from me.
What's it called?
Video.
Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yeah, that.
Because it starts off with him killing cats online, like a
Right,
live
right,
video
okay.
sort of thing, and people freaked out. They're like, this is just messed up, like don't do this kind of shit. And so they're trying to find who this person is, and then like another video would pop up and they're like, oh my god, it's the same guy again. And then like sleuthing around trying to find out who this person is, where they actually live, and that sort of thing. And they find out exactly who it is, and they tell the cops who this guy is. And yeah, then some poor guy gets murdered.
Jesus.
And it's like his brain is so like tragically fantastical, I guess. Like he premeditated like this murder so far in advance that he has like 2-3 years of like alibi sort of stuff built up for this accomplice sort of guy that he says is out there that never existed.
How long was it between him killing this guy and him getting caught?
I'm not 100%
13
sure.
minutes.
Like years,
Well,
months?
no, Interpol, like they had to pick him up in like Berlin, I think, and no Air Force or airline would fly him back. And so the Canadian Army had to send one of their planes over to pick him up.
Yeesh.
Like this was international. Like, yeah, like Interpol was looking for him, that sort of thing. Like it was a big deal.
Blimey.
You definitely watch it. It's so good. Like I just love talking to people about it, because I think it gets so fucked up and it's really sad, but what really fascinates me is just like the minds of these people. And that's why I like watching the documentaries on serial killers.
Second time I've heard about
So I'm
this.
like, how does your mind work?
Are you anything like me at all?
Oh, you had to connect that dot. I would never kill a cat.
Same way. Ooh, Ted Bundy.
You could never be a Ted Bundy.
A film that should have got a lot more people in seats, I feel, and sadly probably isn't going to get a sequel, but I hope Alita, Battle Angel.
I finally watched it, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I've seen something where there's been some traction on it a little bit. I don't know if it was James
Chan and everything.
They were trying to do like a petition for Disney to do one or something like that. But yeah, that movie definitely deserves one. It sets up a sequel pretty damn well. I really enjoyed that one. Missed it in theaters. Finally saw it a month or so ago at home, and it was pretty kick-ass. That'll be in my top 10. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's in my top 10, just about. I've got Knives Out as well.
Oh, yeah.
Really loved Knives. Flipping heck. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I loved it. I thought it was so intricately put together. And I remember CP saying, like, before I went to see it, he was talking about it and saying how it's a proper whodunit, in the sense that, like, yeah, you can follow the clues and you can try and work it out and stuff. And it's like I did work out who was behind it, but it was this thing of like, but how are they behind? Like, where's the little dots? And it's just so it's a film where, like, even if you know who's done it or you suspect you know who's done it, it's still enjoyable to watch, because it's this thing of piecing together how they did it and where do these pieces, where did they fall into place and all it. I thought it was great. Really loved it. Yeah, that's one of my favorites of the year. But Joker is clearly my favorite. Absolutely loved that film.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were trying. I think we did a stream, and you hadn't seen Knives Out yet, so we were trying to be like a little coy with what we said. But it's a whodunit where they tell you, like, after the first act of the movie what happened, but you have to kind of figure out how that happened. It's a proper whodunit, but it's a bit of a Ryan Johnson thing where he kind of subverts expectations. It's not the whole movie trying to figure out who the killer is. It's trying to figure out how all this went down. Yeah,
and I love Anna de Armas as well.
Who
I think
doesn't?
she's one of the. She's a really great actress. I truly believe that. And I said this ever since I saw her in, and it's bizarrely of all films, ever since I saw her in Knock Knock. which is not a great film at all, but she does genuinely give a good performance in that film. And I'd never seen her in anything else before when I watched.
She's
Knock
in Blade
Knock.
Runner 2049 too.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, at the point that Knock Knock came out, I'd never seen her before. That was the first thing I saw her in, and I like just watching Knock Knock. As bad as that film is, I was like, she's gonna go somewhere because she can act. There's scenes in that film where she does some really good stuff. It's just the film's so crap, no one's gonna remember that role. But yeah, and obviously a career has progressed since then, and I think she's a really great actress. One of the better ones working today.
Is there some movies from next year that you guys are anticipating?
Tenet.
Tenet. Yeah, and the Snyder Cut.
I hope so, man. That's all I can say. Lindsay.
And Dune.
No idea.
Yeah, like I'm so like people are saying like, oh, like she's being quiet. I'm like, I'm not up to date on like the new stuff or what's coming out because I don't have the time.
Show business.
Like last night was literally like my first night out with John since the baby, well, like a month before the baby was born. It's been like 6 months since we had a night out.
Kind of looking at a list here. I'm really hoping that 007 is going to end up being good. I was not a fan of Spectre. I need to rewatch it, but to me, Craig's 2 for 2. So I hope that he has a good one to go out with No Time to Die. And I love Rami Malek as the villain. So that the trailer looked really good. Tenet, I did see the trailer for that, or Tenet, whatever they're going to call it. But what's up?
I know something I'm looking forward to.
Go ahead.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ghostbusters comes out in 2022 as well.
Yep.
I believe so.
Yep.
Excited about
I'm so
that.
not interested.
I haven't watched the trailers for either of them because I'm a little gun shy now when it comes to watching trailers about giving away too much. And those ones I've been so excited for that I don't want anything spoiled and I want to go in blind on those.
Sometimes
those
that's the
are
best
my
way.
two.
Yeah, if you can avoid it, sometimes those are the best way, is to walk into a movie blind. It can work against you sometimes, but for the most part, when I do that, I tend to like the movie more, just kind of walking in.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to be great, but man, am I going to be happy to see Bad Boys for Life when that comes out.
In January.
Yes.
Yeah, my birthday weekend, which sucks because every time there's a movie that I want to see for my birthday, I'm like, it's probably going to be shit, but it's my birthday. I sit down. So we'll see with that one. That even Michael Bay is not included with that one. I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing, but that one I'm going to be happy to check out. Bill and Ted. I don't remember what the hell is it. Bill and Ted Face the Music or something?
Yeah.
Please be good. Please be good. Please be good.
Top Gun.
Yeah, we'll see with that one. I don't know. That one's going to be weird.
It's going to be really, really messed up.
Kick-ass. I think the trailers for Top Gun are really great.
The trailers have been good, but here's going to be the weird thing with Top Gun, because Top Gun, the original, is such a product of the time with the shirtless, corny scenes and the romance and everything, that if you do a sequel, if you abandon that, it's not going to feel like Top Gun. But if you embrace that, is it going to work in 2020? That's what I'm curious about. So that one will be interesting.
And like the whole like loss of Goose was like pivotal part to the movie, and now I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna do for a sequel? Like, are you gonna kill another one of his friends? Because that shit's fucked up.
Soft reboot.
Kill one of his students this time. So he's like, oh, I just met you.
John Wick 4 and Matrix 4 aren't next year, are they? I thought they were the
2021.
Yeah.
Halloween Kills, anybody? Okay.
I'm out.
Oh, thank you for that. Here we go. So you got A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yes, please.
This is where it's going to be interesting because they really fast-tracked the sequel, and I really loved the original. And I'm curious how good it's going to be with the fact that they jumped so quick into it. Although it's a movie that probably doesn't take a whole lot to shoot it. That one I'll go into slightly worried. Let's see. The Invisible Man.
That's a January one too.
That'll be a good January, I hope, because the trailers for that look pretty damn good.
What's his face in it? He did Upgrade.
Yeah, Leigh Whannell.
Yeah, I really liked Upgrade a lot more than I was expecting to. So yeah, I'm up. Yeah.
We have The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh my god, the worst title ever.
I hated that title when I saw it. I was like, my god. It's
I think my top two that I'm top three that I'm looking forward to tomorrow. If you're not counting Snyder Cut, because it's not really like an official kind of thing, I'd say Tenet is my number one, then Dune is my number two, and 3 would be Wonder Woman, I think.
I want to say, is anybody really looking forward to Birds of Prey?
Nope.
No. I kind of am, but I'm a DC guy, and it's just like it looks terrible, and yet there's this little in me that DC have been killing it for a little while now.
They have been.
Killing it.
I would say they've been killing it.
Joker,
Aquaman, I thought was great.
Aquaman was pretty good. Yeah, Shazam was really good.
Shazam, and then Wonder Woman was great.
I think. Yeah. So I'd say they've been killing it. I don't know if something's gone on behind the scenes that we're just not seeing in those trailers, where actually they've got a gem on their hands, but
they just announced it's rated R.
Yeah,
or at least I read that. Maybe they didn't announce it. Maybe it's a rumor that people say just announced. But I've seen rated R Birds of Prey.
I heard some talk initially when it was being filmed, a lot of people coming out saying that Ewan McGregor's been doing some really great stuff with the villain role. I don't think we've seen really anything of that in the trailers, if that's the case. But no, I'm hopeful, I guess, but I might just be a sucker. Who knows?
Here's one that maybe I might be the only person in existence that's excited for this. Sonic the Hedgehog, anybody? I usually don't get excited at all for those types of movies because this looks like Yogi Bear and all those other things, the same exact shit where you have cartoon character with live action human comedy family thing. But Jim Carrey kind of coming back and doing old school Jim Carrey stuff interests me. I grew up loving the Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I'm genuinely curious. I'm hopeful that the amount of time and effort and extra money that they put into it redesigning that horrible first design and actually making them look good is going to pay off, because it's going to suck if they go through all this for the fans and then nobody goes and sees it. But yeah, like I said, I plan to be maybe one of 3 people in that theater, and the other 2 will be my kids. Black Widow is also
your kids won't even want to go.
Shane will, maybe not Bella.
I didn't like the Black Widow trailer.
Same.
It was just okay. It certainly didn't hold up after you saw Wonder Woman and all the other trailers that came out immediately after.
Yeah.
It just feels weird to me. Like I love her in the role and I love the character, and I think she's served great. I don't know yet if she can carry a whole movie because she's great as that supporting character. But me, it's just weird for everything that we were talking about earlier. The fact that she's dead, shouldn't we have gotten a Black Widow movie before Endgame?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think it should be, but Black Widow works perfect as a more political kind of espionage type character. Yeah. The Soldier for me is still the best Marvel movie, and she works brilliantly in that kind of world. And the trailer just hinged so much on the more humorous elements and the ridiculousness of stuff. There was elements in that felt like they were out of James Gunn's what was that film he made about it with Rainn Wilson in it? Super, yeah. The scenes in that feel like they're. Super's an alright film actually, but it doesn't suit the tone of Black Widow for me. It's just, the trailer didn't hit for me at all. Well, it should have had a more Winter Soldier vibe.
yeah, for sure. We'll see.
Can we go over the super chats or
I
whatever?
have
My ass, I cannot feel it anymore.
No, you're fine. One more thing I was gonna say. Oh, I lost it. One more thing I was gonna ask everybody, and then we were gonna get into super chats because I'm right there with you. New Mutants. Will we see it this year?
On Hulu.
Still probably no. Yeah, if anything, it would probably go direct to some sort of streaming, which is really, really sad because I was looking forward to that
I
one.
think we're going to see it.
I think that was in my top 5 most anticipated the year they dropped that first trailer, and it was like, ooh, an X-Men horror movie. This is when Fox was killing it, and they were doing all the risky stuff that neither of the other two were doing, and now everybody's forgotten about because they've made Dark Phoenix. But they, the New Mutants that went through reshoots, and like everybody involved with that movie seems to not give a shit anymore. Like you talk to, you see interviews with what's her face from Game of Thrones, and she's just like, who knows when that fucking thing's coming out. So it's like at the excitement level that they could have had, even if the movie was garbage, the amount of money they could have made just releasing it then to now, it feels like it's going to release and like 8 people are going to watch it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. We'll see. If it doesn't come out this year, you might as well just throw it away.
It's in their back pocket. They could pull a Netflix and just like throw it up, like now, 6 under. What was it? 6 Undercover, 6 Underwater, whatever. Just came out. That was just
the Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, happy holidays. Here's a brand new, fairly big movie, and just because we're Netflix, here it comes. I wouldn't put it past Disney to do something like that on Hulu this time next year.
Or even Disney Plus.
Right,
Shit,
right,
they got that
right,
whole
exactly.
thing going now. All right. CP, what do we got for our super chat questions, and then we'll start to wrap up.
So Donald Newton, $5 in the super chat. Thank you. Says Disney Plus reboots Home Alone. Thoughts?
Nope.
It's not going to reach. It's not going to be iconic like the first one or even the second one. I still love the second one, but I'm willing to see them if they're going to put time and effort into it and not have like the straight to video garbage feel that like 4 and 5 had. That I haven't even seen, but I could say that confidently. If they could do something fun with it, it could be good for a little, stream movie, but it's not going to be the original. They don't have the kid for it, if nothing else.
Brian,
he groaned. That was his.
I like the first Home Alone. I don't love it like most people do. I don't particularly enjoy the second one, and I saw a bit of the third one, which, like Cody said, it's just like it feels like.
I dig the third one. Okay, there you go, Lindsay.
But yeah, I for me, it's not a film that should be a franchise. It's not.
Yeah,
it was like one of those family films that became big, and so because it was so big, it got a sequel, and then that should have been it, and then they just started churning out these straight to DVD, and it's like this franchising of something that shouldn't. It's just I'm not interested.
Amity Simmer drops a chat saying celebrating leaving Target for a new job. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I messaged her, or I replied in the chat, and I was a team lead at Target for almost 4 years. I started in electronics, and then I got moved to lead grocery and everything. So if you're going to a job that's better, more money or more hours or whatever, congratulations, because I remember that feeling, walking away from after 4 years of just getting frustrated with how Target runs things, was like, new chapter. So hold on to that feeling for as long as you can.
Film Trigger asks favorite movie Santa.
Probably Tim Allen from the Santa Claus.
That was the most interesting.
I thought he was hungry or something. I was like,
"That's." I was like, "Is somebody?"
Is he farting, growling? What?
I'll go.
Interesting.
You don't say. Who did you go with?
We didn't hear it.
Yeah, you froze up.
I said I'll go with Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh man.
There's not a whole lot of choices. I mean, you got Kurt Russell, which I haven't seen that movie yet. You've got the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. You've got, like he said, Jack Skellington.
The sweet little old man from Ernest Saves
Dudley
Christmas.
Moore.
I love him.
You got Dudley Moore. You've got Richard Attenborough in that movie that CP really likes.
The Ref?
Miracle on 34th Street. Yeah.
Would it count to say Tom Hanks as Santa in the Polar Express?
Yeah.
Because every single time he appears, I get like misty-eyed.
Okay.
That movie makes me feel like I'm a child, and I love it.
I like the Ref from Elf. The Santa from Elf.
From Elf.
The Ref. Got the Ref on the brain.
Yeah, all that NyQuil is just killing me here. Nobody picked Christmas Vacation. Same level as the Ref for me, says Mike Helmer.
Yeah,
I did bring it up.
It was probably before we talked about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Christmas Vacation's good. I watched it for the first time last year. I've never been.
Ever?
I've never grown up. Yeah, I've never grown up with the Vacation franchise, so I had never seen it. I'd only seen the first one, and yeah, it was pretty funny. I liked it. I can see why people love it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Blake asks favorite Christmas episode of a show, which we kind of touched on a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of these I think we wrote down, or you wrote down, and then we carried on and came up with them anyway.
Yeah, mine's there's an episode of The West Wing. It's from season 2. Can't remember the name of it, but it's one where a character called Josh Lyman deals with the fallout, the mental fallout of having survived this assassination attempt. But he deals with it all at Christmas, and there's a lot of Christmas themes that surround it, and it's a brilliant performance by the guy who plays Josh Lyman. What's his face? He was in Get Out, and Bradley Whitford. That's my favorite Christmas episode of television, I think.
Did you guys have another one that we didn't talk about?
I don't watch shows that have Christmas episodes.
I want to say
I brought up the Tales from the Crypt segment, the All Through the House, with a killer Santa trying to get into the house after she's murdered her husband and is trying to hide the body.
That's Christmassy.
It's so good. I love it.
I was trying to search it, but I couldn't find it. It's either a Thanksgiving episode or a Christmas episode, but when I just thought about the King of Queens has an episode where what the hell? I can't remember the actor's name. I want to say that his character's name is Ron from Parks and Rec, but he's been in a lot of movies. And he shows up as this guy that needs like a ride, like he's like a hobo, and they make him stand outside while they all eat dinner, and everybody starts to feel bad, and they start to slowly convert everybody at the table that doesn't want him in, and eventually let him in, and then he locks them out of the house and steals all their shit at the end. So it's a pretty good one, but I can't remember if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, but that one just popped in my head.
There's a few Christmas episodes of the X-Files as well. I'm a big fan of the X-Files. So there's a few of them. There was a two-parter actually of the X-Files that took place at Christmas.
Was there a Christmas episode of Lost? Because I don't think I had Sopranos. I don't think Dexter.
Breaking Bad.
I don't think there were Christmas episodes for those shows.
There's episodes that take place around Christmas, like they have like the Christmas lights up at like the station and stuff, but nothing.
There was a Christmas episode as well of Smallville, which I really like, when Lex Luthor has he sees what his life would have been like
if Clark had come.
Yeah, and if it had made different choices, and he has like a family life, and it's shot in like kind of soft focus and all that. It's just they really amp up the Christmas vibe in it, like full on.
How Woody painted you as the Terminator and not any generic DC character just baffles me.
I think he had it on the brain because we had just kind of gone through the franchise. So Brian was very passionately talking about Rise of the Machines, and then again on Dark Fate. So he probably started painting them around.
Terminator film is very in my movie life, and Terminator 2 is still in my top 10 movies of all time. So
fair enough. You don't talk about it nearly as much though. So Daryl says, thanks for the enjoyment you guys have brought. Oh, thank you, Daryl. And there was 2 ones while I was doing that. Dalton, Merry Christmas, guys. Glad Lindsay made it. Nobody mentioned Venom 2 for next year or God versus King. I think that means...
Is Venom 2 next year?
Godzilla versus King Kong, yeah.
I still haven't watched the first Venom.
It's gonna. I really liked Venom, but it definitely had that kind of mid 2000s feel to a superhero kind of movie. Venom
CG
2.
didn't help.
Yeah, Venom 2 for me, it's gonna depend. I mean, I'm gonna go see it regardless of what I say. But Venom 2 is, if I'm gonna be like hyped, like best of the year, it's gonna wait till 1 what they decide to rate it, because now it's gonna be popular to rate everything R because of Joker. So we'll see if it lands in that camp or not, because you have the character of Carnage that you could do a lot of cool things with rated R. But that and the trailer, we'll see what it's going to look like.
Cameo and Merry Christmas. Cameo and Black Christmas too. Venom.
Hmm? Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Threw me off for a second. And then Godzilla versus King Kong, I could give a shit about, to be honest with you. I haven't liked. It's just not my thing. I'm not a big kaiju, big monsters fighting. Pacific Rim is probably the only one that I've ever genuinely enjoyed, and even that one's not really like a one that a lot of people love. But I didn't care for the Gareth Edwards Godzilla, and I really didn't care for King of Monsters. So I have no reason to. I didn't even really like Kong Skull Island, so no, I have no excitement for God versus King.
I loved Edwards' Godzilla. Thought it was great. I really liked Kong Skull Island, although the tone doesn't really fit with what Edwards did with Godzilla. So that was a bit of a that's a bit weird. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, I thought was terrible, and it sits in my bottom 5 of the year at the moment. Yeah, didn't like it.
David Catone says Nun 2 was what I was thinking of.
Oh, I didn't really enjoy the first one, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm kind of burnt out on that entire universe right now. Like, I loved The Conjuring, and I even really enjoyed The Conjuring 2. And even the Annabelle movies, like Annabelle Creation, I thought was great. What was the one that came out today? Annabelle, whatever
Comes
the hell.
Home, or
yeah, something this year. That was, it had an interesting haunted house vibe to it, but even that, they're starting to all feel like either James Wan does The Conjuring, and then you have a collection of directors that want to be James Wan doing whatever the side stories are. It literally is James Wan style filmmaking, just not done by James Wan. So they feel like the same movie over and over. It's the same type of jump scares. It's the same pacing. It's the same tone, the same scores for the most part. You get a different ghost and you get a different setting if you have the Nun, but the Nun was probably one of the worst of the side ones. So
just before we go, I would like to say I'm really looking forward to the Suicide Squad, because James Gunn's doing it. I think he's going to do something quite special with it, and I'm still hoping for a Dave Bautista Bane.
So, that would be incredible.
That would be cool. Didn't they announce that one's going to be rated R? Suicide
I think
Squad?
so, yeah.
That would make sense, getting James to go full James Gunn. You could feel that he really wanted to go that way with Guardians 2. Been a lot of Brian groans on this episode.
That's more because I'm still getting over a cold and my throat's quite sore.
Absolutely.
But anyway.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys, because I know Lindsay's probably starting to do this a little bit.
Oh my God, my butt. Oh.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm glad we got to do this. We definitely wanted to have one more for the end of the year, but we were not expecting the joy of having Lindsay back with us, and it's going to make us sad if she doesn't join us again very soon. So
pay for babysitters. I'll be here every time.
Hey, little Jack Daniels and NyQuil, you're fine for 2 hours.
At least now we know what the super chats are painful.
The 3-year-old has actually built up a resistance to Jack Daniels, so now he just swings from the chandeliers.
There you go. Oh man! So thank you guys, everybody in the chat, for joining us. A lot of you guys were here from the start and have stayed through the whole show. So hopefully we're entertaining. Thank you, Brian, CP, and especially Lindsay for showing up for this one. It was awesome having all of us back together. Huge thanks to Woody Bowen for
Yes.
not only the gifts, but also just for the support throughout the year. You've been a lifesaver, man. So I don't know if you're still watching or not, but if you catch us on the repeat, thank you so much as always. Thank you guys for the super chats. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm not sure when, because obviously Brian is still under the weather, but we do have, maybe before the end of this year, it might be one of the first episodes next year, we're going to do a Star Wars episode talking about the whole franchise. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Brian, CP, anything before the end of the year, video-wise, you want to plug?
I just want to say that I appreciate all of you guys and everybody that I've picked up over this year. A lot of people have spoken to me about things I've lost in 2019, and I would beg to differ and say I've gained some really, really incredible friends, and that includes every last one of you, and including Woody to boot. I haven't lost anything in 2019. I've gained some incredible relationships, and I'm incredibly thankful for that.
Absolutely, I agree.
Aw, you getting all mushy on us?
I'm sick. I don't know. It must be the drugs.
Brian, you got anything to follow that?
No, just everybody out there, have a good Christmas, stay safe, and we'll see you, if not before the new year, certainly very soon in the new year.
Star Wars. CP, what's our holiday flavor going to go out?
Oh, it's got to be candy cane, right? Edible panty flavor candy cane.
Candy cane.
Candy cane.
Some pink champagne.
Right.
And that never works.